Hello YouTube, thank you once again for joining me, and I'd like to give out a great thank you to those who have actually subscribed to my videos. And if you have any interest in issues regarding Zimbabwe, then feel free to click the subscribe button on your screen. Today the issue is regarding ZIDERA, you know, we all know about ZIDERA. It is a law that was passed by the United States government, which outlawed any lending by United States institutions on Zimbabwe. And over the years, a lot of people have been claiming that there are no sanctions in Zimbabwe. And again, even the MDC over the last 10 years has argued that there are no sanctions on Zimbabwe. The only reason why Zimbabwe has become what it has become is due to sanctions. And therefore, I'd like to bring your attention to something that happened during the last week, or more or less in the last month, where the MDC has really capitulated, and they have accepted that in actual fact there are sanctions on Zimbabwe. Tendai Biti was actually in the United States last week, lobbying the United States government to remove ZIDERA, and he met senators who actually crafted this law, and he was pleading with them to actually remove the law. The IMF and the World Bank actually announced that you know, they do accept that Zimbabwe is changing, and they're actually very impressed with the changes in Zimbabwe. But what they note is that with ZIDERA still in place, the IMF and the World Bank cannot release any funds to Zimbabwe, mostly because the United States has a huge stake in these countries, and in these financial institutions. And therefore, if Zimbabwe is to get any aid, this law has to be repealed. And yes, I was listening to this program on SWRadio Africa, and Tendai Biti was being interviewed. This is a program that was recorded live on May the 1st, which is last week from when this video was made. And Tendai Biti made it completely clear that the MDC believes that there are, well, doesn't believe, but they know there are sanctions, and MDC is actually accepting that these sanctions are retrogressive. They are detrimental to the success of the GNU, and not only the success of the GNU, but the success of the economy as a whole. And Tendai Biti went on to explain why he believes ZIDERA is retrogressive and why it needs to be removed as a sanction. And this video I really put up for those people who deny the existence of sanctions. And it's really the greatest political game one can play. You know, Hitler once said that if you say a lie loud enough and for long enough, people will begin to believe that it's true, especially if it's a big lie. So therefore, MDC propaganda has always been there are no sanctions. This was obviously a very big lie, but it was repeated so much that it has actually become something of a norm. And if you look at Mugabe on the other side, he has repeated his own lies of maybe the fact that Britain is trying to recolonize Zimbabwe, and because he has repeated it so loud and for so long, it has become true. So there is error on both sides, and I'm not siding with ZANU-PF or MDC. In this specific instance, I would like to just bring your attention to MDC actually saying that there are sanctions and they need to be removed. So the interview will follow next. And yes, if you like my videos, do subscribe. Thank you.
Going back to the issue of the Zimbabwe democracy and economic.
On ZIDERA, I actually met both Senator Fingold, whom you know was was one of the authors of these bills. I also met Congressman Payne, who was also involved in ZIDERA. I also met other people like Luga and Hemen, people who mothered and gave paternity to this to ZIDERA. And I made it very clear that it will be very difficult for us to move when ZIDERA is there. And if you consider, for instance, the World Bank right now is with billions and billions of dollars that we have to access, but we can't access those dollars unless we have dealt with and normalize our relations with the IMF. And we cannot normalize our relations with the IMF because of the voting power and the blocking voting power of America. And people, those who represent America on that board, cannot vote differently because of ZIDERA. So it is critical. I think they listened to us. We made our case, and I have no doubt that on balance, they understood that this act has to go. But they also made the point very clearly that you have to strengthen us when we persuade our colleagues who don't have the information that I just given them. And strengthening those people who want to help us in removing ZIDERA, we have to deal with the toxic issues that I've referred to above, the issues of violence on the farms, the issues of all the toxicity issues that I've referred to above.
That was Finance Minister Tendai Biti speaking to us from Heathrow Airport on his way back to Zimbabwe.